welcome back to my channel Vibe with Vimmi. As promised in my first video, I'm back again, this time covering the mountainous terrain of Pokhara. We took a flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara, which takes approximately 25 to 30 minutes. It costs around 90 to 130 US dollars. Here's the thing nobody tells you upfront. Delays in Nepal domestic flights are common, like really common. We had booked a 10:30 a.m. flight, and when we reached Kathmandu airport, we found that the earlier flight was delayed and we were offered seats in this earlier flight now. We obviously said yes. So I have no complaints about the delay as we landed Pokhara on time with the delayed flight. So this is Lake Phewa, and honestly, it's the kind of place that makes you slow down without even trying. There's a temple right in the middle of the lake called Tal Barahi. And even if you're not super into temples, the ride itself is peaceful. Since our hotel was banked opposite the lake, we started our trip with the blessings from the goddess Barahi. If you're around in the evening, there's something special that happens at 7 p.m. right by the lake. It's the Aarti, a kind of evening prayer ceremony for the goddess Tal Barahi. It takes place across the river at the ghat directly facing the temple. It's not flashy, but it's powerful. We got to see the spontaneous spurt of devotees, both local and tourists, dancing to the tune of the Aarti. Even if you're not religious, it's something worth experiencing. Just be there by 6:45 p.m. to grab a good spot. And since I'm talking about being somewhere on time to get a good spot, the next morning we decided to catch the sunrise from Sarankhot. I'm not gonna lie, waking up at 4 a.m. was rough. I'm definitely not a morning person, but I had been looking forward to seeing the sunrise, and since we were supposed to reach the viewpoint by 5:30 a.m., so I somehow dragged myself out of the bed. The drive was kind of cool, even though it was still dark. There were so many cars heading to the same direction. It felt like we were all part of this secret sunrise mission. Once we got to Sarankhot, our driver informed us that the main viewpoint was still a bit of a walk from the parking area. There were quite a few stairs and it was pretty steep, and since my mom wasn't too comfortable with that climb, we decided to stay at the lower viewpoint. It actually worked out really well. There were chairs arranged for the viewers and morning tea or coffee was being served. It was, I think, around 100 rupees per person. As we stood there waiting, it almost felt like we were the audience at a theatre. Everyone had picked their spots, cameras ready, bundled up in their chilly morning air, just waiting for the star performer, the sun god, to make an appearance. But right when the show was supposed to start, that is around 6:15, the clouds rolled in and stole the spotlight. We missed the exact moment the sun rose, thanks to the clouds playing around, but then something magical happened. Even before we saw the sun itself, the rays started hitting up the peaks. Annapurna and Fishtail mountain ranges slowly turned cold. It was such a blissful experience there. A little later, the clouds moved aside and the sun finally made its appearance. Glorious, warm, and totally worth the early wake up. It wasn't a perfect sunrise, and we didn't make it all the way to the top, but I loved it anyway. Just being there with my mom, watching the mountains wake up, it's one of those memories that really stays with you. What really got me at Sarankhot, more than even the sunrise, was the view itself. I mean, it is wild. You're standing there, and on one side, you've got these massive snow-covered mountains just casually sitting there like they own the place, and on the other side you've got this quiet little valley with Pokhara slowly waking up. It's such a cool contrast. Even with the clouds doing their thing that morning, The way the sunlight hit the Annapurna range was something else. The peaks started glowing and Fishtail looked so majestic. Being in the middle of all that, it made me feel super small in the best way. Like how I feel when I visit Mangalore and just sit by the beach. What you are now seeing is the trek trail which was put up in one of the hostels. If you think you are not fit enough or you do not have the time, you may think of taking up a helicopter ride directly to the base of Annapurna. I was told the experience there is truly humbling when you find yourself nestled amongst the majestic mountains. After the calm and quiet of Saranpur, Devi's Falls felt like a totally different kind of energy. Loud, dramatic and kind of mysterious. You hear the water before you even see it. It's not a massive waterfall in terms of height, but the force of it is intense. They have built a park around the falls. You see my mom exploring the stairs. Though her knees were not helping her in best possible way, she doesn't want to use a walking stick, nor does she want to hold my hand. One adventurous lady for sure. Right across the road is Gupteshwar Cave, also known as Mukteshwar Cave. My mom accompanied me till the entrance of this cave but decided not to continue inside. We saw an elderly lady gasping for air as she came out of the cave. We were informed that the cave can be quite claustrophobic, and since the stairs down are steep, it is not advisable for senior citizens, especially those with knee problems, to venture down. So my mom stayed back and I ventured ahead. It's a bit slippery and tight in some places, but if you're okay with a little crouching and navigating through water drippy ceilings, it's pretty exciting. As I kept walking, a realization hit me that the water from Devi's Falls were actually flowing inside this cave. My goodness, what a surreal feeling. I must admit, I was a bit nervous looking at the insides of the cave, and that's when I started chanting Om Namah Shivaya. One of the newer and really stunning attractions in Pokhara is the massive Shiva statue at Kumdikot. We made a spontaneous trip up there and it turned out to be such a peaceful spot with seriously jaw-dropping views. Lord Shiva sits in a meditative pose, towering over everything with the mountains in the background and the valley way down below. There's a bit of a climb to get there, but doable. Ever wondered why people willingly freeze on mountains? Head to the Mountaineering Museum in Pokhara. It got wild climbing stories here that looks like torture devices and proof that Sherpas are basically superheroes. Bonus, no hiking required. So finally, this was our last evening in Pokhara and we decided to stroll along the Fewa Lake and soak in the calmness of this place. There are cafes and restaurants along the promenade to chill and relax. Some of them have local, soulful performances that will make you forget time. Thank you for vibing with Bimmi. Wrapping up my second short video on Pokhara. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to click the like button and do let me know in the comment section how did you find the video. Also, do click the subscribe button and I promise to come up with more interesting and lively videos that not only talk about places but also talks about self-reflections that these places invoke in us.